Last week we began a new sermon series called It's Not Too Late for a Fresh Start. And as part of the opening of that sermon series, we talked about the reality that each and every one of us, covered by grace, that each and every one of us, no matter where we've been, no matter where we are right at this moment, that every single one of us has the opportunity for a fresh start if we just acknowledge that that possibility is real. We talked about how we can always have that fresh start, and that fresh start is not contingent on our past. In fact, we talked about how we can't change the past, that the past is the past. But that the reality is that if we truly are followers of Jesus, if we truly do see Jesus as the role model, the path maker for us, the way, the truth, and the life, if we truly acknowledge that in our lives, then there is nothing that stops us from having a fresh start in the very moment of our lives. And that you and I need to stop living in the past and also stop living in the future, but rather to live in the now, to live in this very moment. And I tell you what, if I could live in this very moment, every moment of my life, I'd be a happy camper.
All right.
Because this feels good to me this morning.
Right.
I'm glad God woke me up this morning. And I'm glad that God found parking for every single one of us this morning. Because God knew that we needed to be here this morning. And God knew that there was a word for us that was going to change us and open us to the new possibilities. This week is a week of new possibilities. Reverend Pat preached for us at the 9 o'clock service, and she spoke very articulately about what this week is going to look like.
Amen.
Not just only the celebration of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday, and all that means for so many of us in the cause for human rights and for civil rights, and for the values that we share one with each other. But also that we will have a new president on Tuesday who takes the office. I'm living with hope for what the future might look like. But the reality is that I can't wait till tomorrow. I can't wait till Tuesday. That I have to start right now. Because if there's one thing that Barack Obama has been speaking about, is that the interconnectedness of each and every one of us, that we must begin the journey today. Not just when he takes office on Tuesday or when he might leave office in 8 years' time. You see, I'm a prophet. But that we get to start the journey right now. I was so excited to hear not only Barack, but also Michelle Obama talk about what tomorrow can look like for us. As they're encouraging us, and I think this is a great role model, that they're encouraging us to use tomorrow as a day of volunteerism and service. And to find out how we can do that one with each other, to remind ourselves that it really is about those overlapping places in our lives, our interconnectedness, that will really change the face of this world as we know it. No longer individualism, but a sense of being together. We're better together. We're better when we lift one another up. We're better when we share in each other's journeys. We're better when we acknowledge those places that we can interconnect and create a better world. And I've been so grateful for that in this church, as I've watched us grow together and interconnect with one another, and to acknowledge the issues of our world and how they overlap who we are and what we are and how we can create a difference. Tomorrow we've been encouraged to march for the Martin Luther King Jr. Parade downtown Los Angeles. And this year is the first year that LGBTQIABC contingent has not only been welcomed, but will be officially recognized as one of those groups that will march tomorrow downtown in honor of Martin Luther King. I don't come as an ally tomorrow. I come as an equal partner tomorrow in the struggle for a new day, in the hope of a better tomorrow. It's never too late for a fresh start. But sisters and brothers, I have to ask the question, if that is really true, if we truly believe that we are covered in this grace, if we truly believe that we are forgiven, remember the words from the prophet Isaiah when he encountered those six-winged angels. Right at the end of that scripture it says that the touch of the ember touched the lips of Isaiah and he was forgiven. Something transformed in his life and he was a new creation, a new person, a new embodiment of anything that had come before. If that is true, then what's holding us back? What's holding us back from receiving the fullness of God's grace that is available to each and every one of us? What's holding us back? What's stopping us from being Barack Obama? Or if you prefer, Michelle Obama. Carlos, please don't take this personally. But there are moments in my life where I would love to be Michelle Obama. God, that man's cute. What's holding us back? What's stopping us from reaching our fullest potential and being the very best that we can be? You know, sometimes I really have to say this. I think that sometimes the thing that holds us back is the programming of the past, is the tapes that go on in our heads, is the things that we have done in our past that are unreconciled in this very moment. You don't have to look around. You can close your eyes if you want to. But how many of us have unreconciled issues in our lives? Well, I'm glad we have. Otherwise, this sermon would be futile. You see, I actually believe that every single one of us has something in our lives that is holding us back from starting a new day, from making a fresh start in our lives. And if I'm really honest, because I listen to the stories of so many of each and every one of you, and I listen to my own story over and over again, that many of us are carrying around with us past wounds and past hurt and past damage and past statements, that it's so difficult for us to truly embrace and embody all that Jesus invites us to embrace and embody. That all of us have unreconciled issues in our lives that it's difficult for us to find and to start a new day, to find this moment in our own lives, because we carry around with us such baggage from the past. I've been known to say that it's time for us to move on. But as I figure out my own theology, I've understood that it's not always easy to move on. But we can reconcile. And we can use this moment to reconcile in our own bodies those issues of the past, even if we can't move on. We can reconcile them and find forgiveness in them, in order that we can go into the new day, perhaps not finding healing on everything that's gone on in our lives,